Okay, so welcome everyone to our presentation on applying to graduate school, everything you wanted to know. So whether you're joining us for our live Zoom session or if you're watching this later recorded on our YouTube channel, I just want to thank you for coming and viewing the video. I also want to welcome Amber from IUP's Graduate Admissions for joining us today. Thank you so much, Amber.
Thanks so much, Mary, for having me today.
You're welcome. All right, so we can get started. So as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, graduate school is a big commitment. And so it is really important to weigh your options and determine if it's the right fit for you. So one thing that may be beneficial is creating a pros and cons list. So for example, some reasons to pursue an advanced degree might be for licensure. If you are in a profession that requires some additional certification, or if an advanced degree may help you, that would be a good idea to attend graduate school. Maybe you're interested in a career change or possibly a new professional focus. You've been working in the field and you've learned what you both like and dislike about your field. Going to graduate school to really hone in on those specific focuses might be helpful, or to change what you've been doing. Maybe you're interested in improving salary, or simply you really love what you do. So going back to graduate school to further develop those skills can be really beneficial. Some reasons not to go into graduate school might be if you're simply avoiding looking for a job. Maybe you're still finding yourself and what you really want to do, or you feel lukewarm about your current career and aren't ready to commit. Um, these might not be a good reason to go to graduate school. As I said, it's a big commitment, time, energy, and finances. So simply going to maybe avoid the job um, field, or you just aren't sure about what you want to do, might not be the best reason to go. You also might want to consider some of the differences between undergrad and graduate school. Graduate school is not just another extension of your undergrad experience. It can definitely be different. So although these are generalizations, these are some things you may want to consider. So for example, in undergrad, you're usually going to have more classes and a variety of workloads. So maybe one class is very test heavy and another class is very writing intensive. So those can definitely vary. You also might have some larger classes, especially in introduction classes, if you're in a lecture hall and you might have a large group of students with you. And you'll usually see more faculty from a variety of majors and programs if you're taking core classes. Whereas graduate school, it's going to be a lot more focused and specific. So you'll usually have fewer classes. For example, I'm currently in a 1 to 2 year program here at IUP. So I have about 3 classes a week that last for about 2.5 hours. You may also have fewer tests, but your assignments might be more in depth. So really applying your knowledge and reflecting it back to your work field. Again, this could certainly vary based on the program or institution. You'll also usually have smaller class sizes when you're in a graduate program. So again, for example, I have one class this semester where there are only 10 of us in it. So that allows us to have a little more personal connection within the classroom. You'll also most likely have less faculty members within your graduate program. So I have about 4 in my program, and I've been able to really develop a connection with them based on my field of interest. So it's important to explore your options. Definitely use your resources. I can't really emphasize that enough. Your advisors or your professors can certainly help you determine if graduate school is maybe a good option for you, or they may be able to help you with some programs or institutions that they may recommend. You could also reach out to your career coaches at the Career and Professional Development Center. Although we are unfortunately not on campus currently, we are still certainly available to help you with any of your graduate school searching. You can email us directly, and I will definitely have that information for you at the end of this PowerPoint. Or you can reach out directly to the school that you're interested in or the program and request some additional information. They either can provide you pamphlets through the mail, or you may even be able to get in direct contact with the head of the department or other faculty members in that program to provide some information and insight for you. So some things to consider when you're applying to graduate school. I'm sure Amber can definitely hit on this a lot with the admissions requirements. Some to consider maybe standardized test scores, letters of recommendation, your personal statement, and your transcripts. But this can certainly vary depending on the program, so it's good to take those into consideration. Amber, feel free to jump in if you have anything to add.
Yeah, for some of those requirements that you're looking for, some programs might have different requirements. So when you're looking into the programs and researching, look into each school might have different requirements. So some might require test scores while others don't. Some might require additional letters of recommendation. Some might require very specific goal statements. So while you're working through those lists, be sure to know ahead of time and get yourself prepared so that when you are submitting your materials, you know exactly what you need to submit.
Yeah.
That's a great thing to point out, Mary Rose.
Yeah, no, thank you, Amber, for elaborating too. And we'll certainly talk more about that in the upcoming slides as well. So like Amber said, academic requirements could vary as well. Maybe there's a minimum GPA requirement. Some might require a specific bachelor degree where others may not. It might be more general. You also want to consider any tuition costs and financial aid opportunities, but also considering some additional fees as well, and if you're going to be able to afford it. It's also important to consider campus culture, location, size. Maybe you want to stay close to home at more of a smaller institution, or you want to travel far and get to experience a large research-based institution. So definitely consider what will be the best fit for you, culture and environment-wise. You also want to consider the student to professor ratio. So like I said earlier, this can definitely depend on the program, but if you are interested in a program that maybe has less faculty, less classes, so that you have a more personal connection and experience with that. Also considering what specific program fits you best. Some institutions may have the same program, but they might have different focuses. Some may be more research heavy, some may be more theory based. So definitely considering what programs you're interested in and what feel like the best fit for you. And then finally, especially during these times, considering whether you want to do an online program or an in-person program. So some things to consider, again, these are more generalized, but when looking at online versus in-person, online usually has fewer program options, and sometimes it can be a little more difficult to get financial aid. You're also going to need a lot of self-discipline, as with any degree. However, I'm sure if you've been doing classes on Zoom, you do realize how important it is to keep up with deadlines and everything when it's more online. You also, unfortunately, may have less accessibility to student services. They certainly will be there for you. I know at the Career and Professional Development Center, we try to do our best to reach our online students, but not having them directly on campus where you can just walk into an office might be a disadvantage for you. And there's usually less chance to network with other professionals or faculty. Whereas in-person might have more variety of program options, some more financial aid opportunities. You will still need to be very self-disciplined and have a lot of time management, especially if you're a full-time student and maybe balancing a work schedule as well. You'll have more accessibility to student services and more opportunities to network and develop those relationships with your peers and faculty members. So these are just a few online resources I wanted to mention. Again, Amber can certainly step in and talk about our IUP graduate studies. We currently have over 2,000 graduate students and offer over 48 graduate programs and 13 doctoral programs.
Yeah, so if anyone is interested in coming to IUP for graduate school, please feel free to reach out to our office. We're at graduate-admissions@iup.edu, or you can go on our website. We have tons of different majors. Our most popular, I would say, business, we have criminology, we have English, we have fine arts, so lots to offer for our students. And we offer both part-time, full-time, on campus, and as well as online or hybrid options. So just depending on what might be the right fit for you, really reaching out to those graduate schools that you're interested in. Like Mary Rose had said, don't be afraid to contact us or to contact the program directly to learn more information, because that knowledge of knowing whether it's going to be a good fit for you is going to be your best tool in making your decision on if grad school is right for you, and then which one to decide or which one to choose. I know the other ones, there's a couple other lists below and on the screen as well too. So these might be good places to start if you don't know what schools around you offer those programs. So definitely you can utilize those resources, but then touching base with each one of those universities is going to be an important step as well.
Yeah, thank you, Amber. So yeah, some other online resources that might be beneficial is Peterson's Guide. I know I use this a lot with students who are searching for graduate schools, because you can narrow your search based on institution, location, program, and any keywords or phrases. GoGrad is also very similar. Discover Business is good if you're looking for maybe MBA programs in specifically. Mometric Test Preparation offers practice tests for graduates programs and professional schools, so that's good if you're preparing for some of those standardized tests. And then Affordable Online Master's Degree is a website if you're looking for a little more flexibility and affordability. These are just a few of our resources that we have on our website, so you can check out more at iup.edu/career. And next, financial planning, again, is going to be a big one. You need to consider tuition costs along with additional fees. So that could be activity fees, books and supplies, housing, groceries, all that need to be considered when planning for graduate school. Amber, I don't know if you have any other ones you wanted to include there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, even going or stepping on to the next point, I know you have listed financial aid, scholarships, loans, student employment. One of the things that I wish I would have known when I had completed my undergraduate work is that financial aid does exist for grad students. So just like you take out loans for your undergrad, that opportunity to complete the FAFSA still exists for your graduate work. And it's actually a whole separate pot of money. So I tell people this story all the time. I was first generation. I had maxed out all of my undergrad student loans that I could possibly take out, and the opportunity to apply for federal loans at the graduate level still exists. So even if you were in my situation, please don't hesitate to reach out to the financial aid office at your school to get more information about that. And in schools like IUP, I know we have graduate assistantships as well as scholarships. So not saying that everything needs to be a loan, but that option is there for students. So that's I always feel so that I should pass that knowledge along, because I wish it was knowledge that I had when I was younger.
Yeah, no, that's such a great point. Thank you for sharing it. It is hard to tell once going into graduate school what options are still available. So definitely reaching out to schools will be helpful. And student employment is still available as well if you want to work directly on campus to help pay for your schooling. Or there might be assistantship opportunities. Again, these could vary based on the institution, but most will help you with a stipend and possibly pay for some, if not all, of your tuition. So it's good to look into those. Some might provide housing or meals as well. So those are just a couple options when considering financial planning for the future.
Yeah, I would say too. So in addition to the financial aid, there's private loans, but like you said, reaching out to people. And for those who don't know what a graduate assistantship is exactly, it's either you work 10, it depends, every university might be different, so maybe 8, 10, 20 hours with a faculty member or someone on campus. And then like Mary Rose had said, you get money towards your tuition, and at our university you get money towards your tuition and a bi-weekly paycheck or a stipend. So that is money that you're working for that money, but it's money that goes towards your tuition then to help with the cost. We also do offer some scholarship money too, which is just straight up scholarship. You don't have to pay it back or work for it. Some employers also offer, so if you're going out into the world of work, some employers might also have like payments. So they'll, or payment plans for your grad school. So they'll pay for your continuing education. So check with your HR offices. The more people you can ask, the better. you always want to go after the free money first, but then again, if you have to, the loans are still there as an option. So definitely ask.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And considering all the possibilities in case you need extra assistance. So you've done all your research and you've figured out which institutions and programs you want to apply for. So next step to take is actually applying. So what we'll start hitting on in the next few slides are the application form, standardized testing, resume, letters of recommendation, your personal statement, and transcripts. Again, like I said, we'll go into more detail on each, but just in general, it's really important to make sure you know those deadlines and the cost to apply. It might be helpful to create a spreadsheet like you can see on the slide here, just to keep track of which institutions you're applying for. Have you paid the application fee? Did they receive your transcripts, your test scores? So this can be really beneficial just to stay organized and on top of it, because this can sometimes be a lengthy process, making sure that they get all that information.
I love the spreadsheet.
Thank you. Google helped for that one. But you can certainly create your own as well. So some tips about the application form. Again, I think Amber can speak on this more so, but something I found really helpful when I was applying to graduate school was that you can usually download forms directly from their website, and you'll usually have a centralized location where you can upload all of them. And so you might need to create an account, but this can help so you can save your progress and log in later. So as you're gathering all your documents and things that you need to apply, you can do it one step at a time. Amber, if there's anything else you wanted to add about that.
Yeah, no, I think most universities are now using like an admissions portal or profile, and then that's where all of your application materials are housed. I think it goes along great with the spreadsheet, and that's why I think I love it, is because most of those profiles, you can check the status. So if somebody submitted a letter of recommendation, it will update through the profile so you can see it and check it off. So you can really check to make sure. Going back to that, profile is always super helpful to make sure that you have everything and that you're staying on track with deadlines. But then you can also always reach out to the grad admissions offices and they can check the status of your applications as well.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. And then lastly, I'll just hit on making sure that you're typing everything out clearly and accurately and being consistent with the spelling of your full legal name on all forms. It's definitely important to look back and double check your information before submitting it all. So next would be standardized tests. Amber mentioned this previously, but some may require it, some may not. So it's important to definitely look into their requirements and what tests you might need to take. And you also want to be aware of the timetable for these. You need to prepare for test preparation, but also studying in advance. It might not be offered when and where you want. So it's important to take that into consideration and when you'll have to schedule for it. You also want to allow for extra time just in case maybe you're not 100% satisfied with your test scores and would like to do a retake or two. So on average, a GRE process could take about 3 to 4 months when taking into consideration testing, studying, and then retaking. So definitely be prepared and practice for those.
Yeah, I was going to say the only thing that I wanted to point out right now, and this might go along too with your next slide, is currently now due to COVID-19, a lot of these testing centers or locations are closed. So if you do need a GRE for your application, check with the testing sites. So some of them like GRE or for international students, if a TOEFL is needed, they do have at-home tests that you can take. So it's somebody watches you and proctors, but the test is still available to take. Most tests are moving to an at-home format like that. So do reach out. Grad admissions offices should have that information in case you would need it. But if for some reason you can't get the test or you can't take the test, do reach out to the schools that you're applying to let them know of the challenges that you're facing. During this time, I know we're trying to look at different options as far as, testing and things like that for some of our programs because of challenges. So I know that's kind of very topical as to right now, but if anybody has any questions about that, don't hesitate to reach out to anyone.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. And was going to be mentioned a little bit. No, you're good. That's perfect. IUP does offer testing on campus, but because of the circumstances, they are not currently there, but may be offering more options in the fall. So definitely take a look at their website and you can see a full list of what tests are available and when they're scheduling. They do offer both computer-based and paper-based tests, but as Amber mentioned, they may have adapted some or have some other options because of the current circumstances with COVID-19. So next would be your resume. Again, maybe not all programs will require it, but some might. So we like to mention that you include your education, professional experience, activities, honors, and memberships. Grad schools do want to see more than just grades, so it's helpful to have a resume to really show that you are involved and that you can juggle more than just your education and academics. You're also more than welcome to reach out to us via our email. You can either schedule an appointment and we can go over your resume, or you can send all materials to resume-review@iup.edu, and we can look at resume, cover letters, or other professional documents you might need help with and need some comments on. Letters of recommendation are also super important. Might vary the number that you need depending on the institution or program. However, definitely try to seek out as many as you can just in case. You'll want to try to go for maybe a faculty member and then one professional. Again, this way they can see both the academic side and maybe any professional experience you've had as well. Also, please ask in advance. Faculty members and professionals can often be busy as well. So if you have those deadlines ahead of time and can give them enough time to do it, some applications are usually due around December or the end of semesters. So definitely giving them more than enough time to prepare would be helpful. And providing any additional resources. So maybe just some basic information about the program you're applying to, your resume, your personal statement could be helpful. And you can definitely ask them to highlight things in particular that you want the school to see as well. Next would be the personal statement. This is your chance to really make a good first impression. It can be a little overwhelming to have to write about yourself. Some programs may provide questions for you, so you can definitely hone in on those. I know when I applied to IUP, they had about 3 questions in particular they wanted me to hit on. But if they aren't asking for specific questions or requirements, some questions to consider are, what are your intentions for graduate school? What skills or experiences may set you apart from other applicants? What can you bring to the program? And why are you interested in this program in particular? Amber, I would love to hear if you have any tips or if there's anything you've had experience with personal statements that have stood out for you.
Yeah, I think so. At IEP, we really take a holistic review of your application. So this part becomes so important because, like you said, it's more than just your grades. It gives us a real glimpse into why you might want to attend grad school. So it does kind of set you apart a little bit. So be sure to take time in writing your goal statement. Utilize services just like you would for your resume, going to the Career and Professional Development Center for your goals statement, maybe visit the Writing Center on campus just to have them take a look over it. You want to make sure your English and grammar is good because we want to make sure you're a good candidate for grad school. One other thing though it can do is if maybe you did have a little dip in a certain period of time in your undergrad, it can be an opportunity for you to help to explain it or even not explain it, just to acknowledge that you had a little bit of a dip, but that you are really focused and prepared to dedicate, your time to your graduate studies. So I think sometimes that's a good place to explain or acknowledge what might have happened in your academics. Because life happens, you change your major or, something happens. And so it's just a good opportunity to get to know our students more.
Yeah, those are all really good, helpful hints. So thank you, Amber. And then transcripts. So Usually easy to request these from your undergrad, but they could take a couple weeks to come in. So it is definitely important to request those in advance. They also might cost money, so you do have to consider that when applying and paying for either your application or paying to receive your official transcripts. And again, it's good to keep track of these. You can use that spreadsheet I had shown. Um, or you can also reach out directly to the institution. I believe they notified me when they received my transcripts, but again, some institutions may vary, so don't be afraid to reach out to them just to confirm that they've received all your information, especially your application form and transcripts. And they're generally going to look for about a 3.0 to a 4.0 GPA. Again, can definitely depend on the program. And usually we'll focus more on major courses or those that will coincide with the program you're applying to. And as Amber mentioned, if your GPA isn't strong, that might be something that you can address in your goal or personal statement to elaborate on a little bit. Schools do understand you're human and they do want to get to know you better through that. So finally, when you're going to either accept or decline an offer, again, be aware of those deadlines so you have enough time to consider and weigh your options and pick which will be best for you. Also, do really make sure to inform those schools you are not planning to attend. It's not always a great feeling to have to turn down an offer, but I'm sure Amber can speak for it that they do really want to know that information. If you're not planning to attend, that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. Don't feel like you're hurting our feelings. Some students might have been awarded some kind of scholarship or assistantship money, and programs might be holding that for you. And so if you've already made a decision to go elsewhere, we can release those funds and give them to another student. So do be sure to let the universities that you're applying to know if you're no longer interested. No hard feelings. We totally understand, and we want you to make the best decision for you. It just helps us moving forward to help other students.
Yeah, good point, Amber. And then finally, if you are an IUP student currently and do want to continue your education at IUP, early admissions is an option for you. So again, I'll allow Amber to talk about this since you do have all the information on that.
Yeah, no, it's a great opportunity for our current students. So if you have 90 credits, so if you've hit the 90 credit mark or 90 credits or more and have a 3.25 GPA, we have a program called Early Admission at IUP. And what it is you apply to the graduate program of your choice. So let's just use MBA. So you're a business major in your undergrad and you're thinking about going on for your MBA. You would apply while you're a junior or at your 90th credit. Once you're admitted, we would allow you to start taking graduate classes as an undergrad, and you would be billed at the undergrad rate. So this can save up to $6,000 on average for most students. Those credits then count towards your undergrad degree, and then they'll count towards your grad degree. So not only is it saving money, but it's saving time. Typically then the grad degree only takes 1 year to complete. So it's a great opportunity for our students. And I would definitely encourage any who are thinking about grad school to let us know, or to talk with one of your faculty members, your advisor, the program coordinators, to see if this is going to be something that's right for you. But just the time and the money savings, it's a great opportunity. So definitely let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you, Amber, for sharing that. I don't know if you have anything else you would like to add, Amber, or if anyone has any questions that we can answer, feel free.
No, I think this is a great overview. And for a lot of students who are just starting out, it's sometimes hard to know where to start. So I think this gave like a great starting point for students looking to attend grad school. If you have any other questions, like I said in the beginning, you can always feel free to reach out to us and we can assist you through the graduate process at IUP. I talked to you about some of the graduate programs, get you in touch with some of the faculty members. But I think you did a great job hitting on all the definite basics to get people started into thinking about grad school. So this was great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amber, again for joining us. Lastly, I'll just say, you're more than welcome to reach out to Amber for information on IUP specifically. And you can definitely get in touch with us if you would like help getting more information on applying to graduate school, developing a resume, cover letter, personal statement. So you can reach us at our website, iup.edu/career. You can also email us to schedule a virtual appointment at career-development@iup.edu or resume-review@iup.edu if you're looking for feedback on specific professional documents. I would also really encourage students to follow us on social media, especially now with everything going remote. We have a ton of Zoom sessions and other online resources that we're offering. We also like to have a little bit of fun on social media, so feel free to follow us on there. Thank you guys again for coming. I really appreciate everyone joining us today who is able to, and anyone who will be watching this video later on. So thank you guys. Thank you, Amber.
Thanks so much for having me.